When African-American protesters were being beaten as they tried to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge on this date 50 years ago in Selma, Alabama, they could have never imagined what happened there today. An African-American president of the United States leading a march over the very same bridge to remember what became known as Bloody Sunday. Among those crossing with the president, former President George W. Bush, along with some veterans of the civil rights movement who were there half a century ago. Senior White House correspondent Bill Plante is also in Selma tonight, just as he was on March 7th, 1965.
This afternoon in Selma, the nation's first black president walked the path of those who 50 years ago were beaten for seeking the right to vote. One of those attacked on that Bloody Sunday was Congressman John Lewis. He introduced President Obama.
If someone had told me when we were crossing this bridge that one day I would be back here introducing the first African-American president, I would have said, you're crazy, you're out of your mind, you don't know what you're talking about. President Barack Obama.
For the president, the efforts of Lewis and others carried special meaning.
Political and economic and social barriers came down. And the change these men and women wrought is visible here today in the presence of African Americans who run boardrooms, who sit on the bench, who serve in elected office from small towns to big cities, from the Congressional Black Caucus all the way to the Oval Office.
On March 7, 1965, 600 mostly black marchers set out for the capital, Montgomery, protesting their inability to vote. But they were stopped short by state troopers at the foot of the bridge, where they were beaten with clubs and sprayed with tear gas.
It's my first time back.
John Johnson was part of the long and successful march from Selma to Montgomery 2 weeks after Bloody Sunday.
The last time I was over there, the police ran us out of Selma. This time they escorted us in.
Because of campaigns like this, the Voting Rights Act was passed.
President Obama challenged Congress to restore the protections of the Voting Rights Bill, some of which were struck down by the Supreme Court.
100 members of Congress have come here today to honor people who are willing to die for the right to protect it. If we want to honor this day, let that 100 go back to Washington and gather 400 more, and together pledge to make it their mission to restore that law this year. That's how we honor those on this bridge.
This bridge is named for Edmund Pettus. He was a Confederate general during the Civil War, then a U.S. Senator, but he was also a Grand Dragon of the Alabama Ku Klux Klan. And when a local student group here found out about that, they started a petition to take his name off the bridge. And it now has 150,000 signatures.